Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new, as I have hit hit 300 subscribers. Hello, my name is Christine. I'm autistic and I love to read, hence the name of the channel. So let's get into this. I did a couple of readathons for the month of October, or at least I tried to participate in a few of them. One of them being the Hocus Pocus Readathon. I decided to join Team Trick-or-Treaters. This took place during the entire month of October. So there were a total of 8 prompts, and let's just kind of go into them. I'm going to go, because of the way the stack of my books is currently laid out, I'm going to go from prompt number 8 to prompt number 1. That's the only reason I'm doing it. So prompt number 8 was to read the group book. For that, I read this on my Kindle, so I will insert an image of it. So the group book was City of Ghosts by V.E. Schwab. This was the first book in a series. I'm blanking on the name of the series, but I really enjoyed this. There's 3 books in this so far. I don't know if it's only going to be a trilogy, but there's 3 books. And I've only ever heard of people talking about the first 2 books. So I don't know if people have just lost interest or what, but I loved it. And I look forward to continuing on with this series. I thoroughly enjoyed this. Gave this one 5 stars. So this one, I am so bad with remembering character names, but she is in middle grade. She has a ghost friend named Jacob that I do remember, and this gal can cross between, it's like she had a near-death experience and she can go from the human world to go through the veil where she sees the ghosts. So, and she always carries around a camera with her. Her parents have written a story, and they're going to Scotland to kind of film about that, about the history of Scotland and the paranormal activities. But yet their daughter can actually see ghosts. So, I mean, that's just the basic there, but I loved that. I gave that one 5 stars. Prompt number 7 was to watch the movies. So it was either to watch Hocus Pocus or Hocus Pocus number 2. So I watched Hocus Pocus before this readathon started. I love the movie Hocus Pocus. I find it thoroughly entertaining. It came out when I was about Dani's age, who is the little sister in the movie, so it's been out for a bit, and I absolutely love this. So I selected for this readathon to watch Hocus Pocus number 2, and I gotta say, if I were giving it a 5-star rating, I would only give it a 3-star. It was fine. There were some parts that were a bit entertaining. Like, my favorite part out of the whole movie is when she sings to the crowd and they go and dance their way to try to find the mayor. But the first movie, in my opinion, was much, much better, and I really don't think it needed a sequel. I really don't think Hocus Pocus 2 needed to exist or be made. I've heard rumor that there's going to be another one, but that could just very well be that, a rumor. And I kind of hope they don't make a 3rd one. I don't think I'd be interested in seeing that. I don't know. Could be wrong. Anyway, okay. Continuing on. Prompt number 6 was Team Trick-or-Treaters need to come together to survive the night. Read a book with multiple POVs. For this one, I went with a graphic novel called Cryptid Club by Sarah Anderson. These little ghosties glow in the dark, so that's fun. And the reason why I say this comes with multiple POVs is you have POVs from aliens, from humans, from the Kraken, or aka an octopus, from other creatures and ghosts, and again, as you can see, I mean, they're just little comic panels, but they're all from a different point of view. You have the Loch Ness Monster, you have a rabbit with antlers, you have a forest creature, so there's several different POVs in this, and it is so cute, such a quick read. I highly recommend this. I am finding I really like Sarah Anderson's humor. I'm finding it very endearing, very cute, very relatable at times, and I look forward to picking up more of Sarah Anderson's work. Okay. Moving on. Okay, so prompt number 5 listed was Max, Allison, and Dani have to stay up all night to defeat the witches. Read a book that is so scary that it would keep you up at night. Or basically to read a horror, a mystery, a thriller, etc. This did not keep me up all night. It wasn't that scary, but this was so scary. This would have been scary enough. It would have kept me up all night. Or definitely late into or early into the wee hours of the morning had I read this back when I was really big into R.L. Stine's Fear Street books, and that is Halloween Party. So this does have deaf representation. The main female character is deaf. She is really good with lip reading. She can pretty much guarantee and knows what people are saying with 100% accuracy, but which is not really realistic. I know that reading lips, from what I've heard from a lot of people who are deaf that read lips, it is difficult. I don't know of anyone that has been able to actually say they can do that with 100% accuracy, but at least the deaf representation is in there. So this one, the gal, what was her name? Her nickname is Funny Face. Trisha? Was that her name? Anyway, she has a boyfriend. He calls her Funny Face. So you're following a lot of this. There's this new girl in school. She decides to throw a Halloween party to get to know a select group of people. And then sinister things start to happen, and some of them are jokes. And then certain things start to happen that turns out not to be jokes. And you'll just have to read this to find out. I gave this 5 stars purely out of nostalgia. I mean, if I had never read Fear Street, I probably would have given it like a 3-star, but I'm very nostalgic towards Fear Street, so I can't ever see myself giving it any less than a 5-star. Prompt number 4, and I did do these in order, read these in order from 1 through 8, but again, we're just going backwards. So prompt number 4 is Halloween is such a fun and colorful holiday. Read a book with Halloween colors on the cover. That would include orange, black, purple, or green. So this one I went with a manga, and I went with Creepy Cat Volume 3. As you can see, there is plenty of black. There's a little bit of kind of a purple and quite a bit of pink. It's kind of like a purpley blue, but there's a lot of black. This book is so sweet. So this is Volume 3. Unfortunately, this series only has 4 books. At the end of the 4th book, it does say the series is complete. So if you want to get into manga and like paranormal gothic, I highly recommend Creepy Cat by Cotton Valent. I gave this 5 stars from the first book. Every book in this series for me has gotten a 5 stars. These little cats are ghost cats. You have, some of them are like really long, kind of like a centipede. There are some that can disappear, some can multiply, some can have huge, gigantic arms. Some of them can change sizes. So they have these abilities. And you're just following as they interact with humans in the real world. There is, every now and then you'll see some witches pop up and some vampires pop up. But the art is just beautiful. Cotton Valent did a beautiful job with this series. I'm sad to see it come to an end, but it is not a major commitment. So for those of you who don't want something that's a major commitment, Creepy Cat, I highly recommend. Again, not a major commitment. Very simple, very easy to read. This is more on the YA side, but I don't know. It's just very, 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 very sweet. Sweet's not the word, but it just kind of gives you these cozy, sweet vibes. So that's what I mean. Anyway, let's go ahead and move on. All right, prompt number 3 is Trick or Treating is all about the candy. Read a short and sweet book, less than 300 pages. So this one, I was doing a readathon, the Chronicles of Narnia readathon with Amy from A-Star Reads. Highly recommend checking Amy's channel out. I will have it linked in the description box. We really enjoyed doing this readathon. So for this one, for the month of October, we only had one book left to read in this 7-book series, and that was titled The Last Battle. So that's the Chronicles of Narnia by C.S. Lewis. This is a complete bind-up, so I'm just holding this one up. The Last Battle, again, is the last one. I loved the last book. Amy, not so much, which is fine, but I loved it. With C.S. Lewis, you can see when you look at a lot of his books, some books more than others, you can see a lot of his Christian beliefs interwoven through this fantastical world. And when I read The Last Battle, I saw that. There's a lot of talk about basically the afterlife, of, you know, like when people die and then they continue on living spiritually. And so there's a spiritual afterlife. And so there was a lot of reference towards that, but it was written in a way so that it would be more accessible to middle graders. And you do see those Christian beliefs in there. If you are not Christian, then you probably won't pick up on the references other than what maybe friends or other people have talked to you about. But I do feel like The Last Battle was a little bit more heavy with it, which I liked. So I enjoyed it. And it did make me tear up a little bit. I also listened to The Last Battle via audiobook while I read along, and Patrick Stewart narrated the last book. He narrated The Last Battle, and holy cow, Patrick Stewart is so talented. He's a talented voice narrator. He's a talented actor. All around awesome dude from what I know about him, which really isn't much. But he is a talented dude. I really like him. The first thing I ever saw Patrick Stewart in was in Star Trek. And Star Trek The Next Generation is my favorite out of the Star Trek series because of Patrick Stewart. And then the original Star Trek series would be my second favorite. And I haven't watched all episodes of both of them, so I'm not like this huge Star Trek fan. I enjoy Star Trek, and I would like to go and watch all of the episodes from the original Star Trek series on. But there's a lot of episodes because I do know there's a couple different variations, or like you have the original, the Next Generation, and I don't know the other ones. See, I'm not a big Star Trek fan. Don't trust anything I say about Star Trek. But Patrick Stewart was my favorite. But, oh, so this had to be less than 300 pages. My copy in this bind-up was between 100 and 110 pages, so definitely worked. Okay, moving on to prompt number 2. It says, Max started this whole mess when he lit the black flame candle. Read the first book in a series. This one I did a romance, and these didn't need to be paranormal or horror or anything like that. You just pick a book to fill the prompt. First book in a series, I went with Love and Gelato. This has been sitting on my shelf for a long time, and this was so cute. I like romance. I am leery about romance because I don't like reading the sexually explicit scenes, but I am finding that when I want a romance, my safer bet is to read a YA romance, and they tend to be very sweet. They tend to build more on the relationship as a whole rather than a little bit of lusting until they fall into bed and have sex. I have yet to read a YA that has sexually explicit scenes. Now, are there some out there? I am sure there are, but they are going to be in the minority compared to the adult romance, which will have the sexually explicit. So YA romance is generally a safe bet for me. So, at least in my experience so far. So this is a trilogy. The next books are Love and Luck, and then Love and Olive. So this one we're following Lena. Her mother has passed away. This is within the first chapter or 2 at the most. So Lena's mother has passed away from a form of cancer. And Lena is 16, 15, 16. I don't remember how old she is in this, but about that age. And it's basically in her mother's will that Lena goes and lives with this man in Italy. Lena believes that this man that she's going to live with is her father. She meets this one guy who is half Italian, half American, and that lives pretty close to her. And they strike up a friendship, and it's a romance, and love blossoms, and there's teenage angst and drama, and I was here for it. I loved this, and I actually asked my mom for the rest of this series for my birthday or for Christmas. If I don't get these in December, because my birthday is in December and obviously Christmas is in December, but if I don't get these other two, I enjoyed this so much that like the day after Christmas I will buy the other two in this series. I enjoyed it, and I look forward to see where the adventure continues, if it's going to follow a different character or if it will be Lena and she just decides to travel the world. I don't know. The main male lead is Ren. It says so on the back here. At least that's what he goes by. And she's just kind of this popular little thing right off the bat because it's this small area and there's just a handful of these teenagers that are all friends, and she's the new interesting thing. So yeah, it was fun. Thoroughly enjoyed this one. I gave this one 4 stars. Absolutely loved. Okay. And then the final prompt I'll be talking about, which was listed as prompt number 1, is Halloween night is full of spooky and eerie vibes. Read a book with an atmospheric setting. So this one, I actually read another manga, and this one being Creepy Cat Volume 2. This takes place in a gothic type mansion. The main character is very much into art, so if you have a book that or like if you're doing a readathon and you want something where art is a theme, this would be something to talk about, to look into as well. You obviously have the cats, the ghost cats in this particular one. You can see there's a couple. There's one here, there's one under here, there's the one back here that you can't see as much. Those are the only 3 on here, but this cat can multiply. And then on the back, there's the same cat, but the cat is there 6 times because it's multiplied itself. There is witchcraft, there are vampires, there's just all this stuff, and it's just very quick, beautiful art. Again, I'm sad that there's only 4 volumes, but this will be something that will be great for people that want to, again, delve into manga but don't know where to start. This will be a great place to start because it's quick, it's cute, paranormal, gothic, it's short, it's like 147 pages. Very fun read. So those are all the books that I read for the Hocus Pocus. These are all the physical books, just minus the ebook. And then obviously watching Hocus Pocus 2, which again, not my favorite. I think that it would have been fine just not doing a sequel. The Hocus Pocus is just fine by itself. So that is it for the Hocus Pocus Readathon. I will put, I don't have the hosts of the readathon listed. I'll try and remember to try and find the hosts. And if they have like a YouTube channel or something, I'll try and link it in the description box so you can check out their stuff. So again, this took place for the whole month of October. Each team had their own strength and weakness. Trick-or-treaters, the strength is that we were able to start reading on September 27th. I took total advantage of that. The weakness is that I have to read the prompts in order. So in this particular case, I did have to go 1 through 8, and I couldn't read the next book until I finished the previous prompt, which worked out for me because that's how I did it anyway. So it was fun. I thoroughly enjoyed this. I look forward to trying to participate in this hopefully in a year if they do it again. And it was just fun. So I know I know at least 2 other teams. I think there were only 3. Team Trick-or-Treaters, which was what I was on. I believe there was also Team Undead and Team Sanderson Sisters. I think it was just the 3. So that's it for this video. Let me know if you participated in the Trick or Treat Readathon and what team you were on, what your favorite read of October was, and what you're looking forward to reading next. So talk to me in the comments section below. Until next time, stay true to yourself and enjoy a good book, and I'll talk to you later.